Next Fest is officially here for 2025, and that means it's time to begin our weekly look at all my favorite indie game demos we had a chance to play from the event. So let the next festing begin. We're starting things off with demos we checked out the week prior to Next Fest that were released early, and our first one is Monster Train 2. The kind of like second place in the deck building roguelike paradigm is back, and we are trainier and monsier than ever. From our time in the demo, the basics remain intact, as you must figure out how to keep your 3 floors of your train protected from all manner of creatures, upgrade cards to game-breaking levels, and try to keep your engine or furnace alive. Now, we didn't get a chance to check out too many of the different factions from the demo. The new features, besides some new factions and rules, is that you can now equip your various monsters with kind of card parts or card equipment relics that change their properties during their play. You can also transform rooms, giving them a different feature for that match, such as characters will power up when they defeat an enemy and so on and so forth. Difficulty-wise, this isn't like it's going to be on par with the first one. That it's going to be quite challenging as you try to learn how each faction's kind of game-breakingness works, but once you do that, there will be plenty of ascension levels, progressive difficulty, to challenge even the most hardened Monster Train fan. So, if you were a fan of the first one, this should be a no-brainer for you to check out. We go to something a little bit more darker with Moadra. This is, I guess, best way to describe as a Metroidvania with a whole lot of like survival horror tones and aesthetics to it. We are an alien named Moadra who's trying to investigate a planet that has uncovered some kind of strange biological material that allows it to kind of fuse and augment people. And it has unfortunately been given to the hands of someone who is trying to take over the planet or worse. And we are going to have to run, jump, shoot, and any other Metroidvania upgrades we can find in order to save the day. Our gameplay here should be familiar to anyone who has played the Metroid style of Metroidvanias, as you'll shoot and do your best job to explore the areas. Now, you'll get access to different upgrades, as well as being able to kind of give your character like permanent upgrades that increase their stats by spending resources. Now, the main thing from the demo itself is that we really didn't get a chance to see too many like unique elements to this one, beyond just like the really fantastic art style and aesthetics. Kind of going for that kind of was like H.H. Geiger, the kind of like fleshy, weird tone of everything to it. I am interested to see where this one will go both in terms of its story and mechanics. The only thing that was kind of annoying is that you have this like little bot that follows you around, and it's the only way to scan for kind of fake walls and hidden passageways. So it kind of gets a little bit frustrating or times for him to keep stopping, letting it search around, move on, letting it search around, etc, etc. So if you're in the mood for a more darker take on the Metroidvania theme, then definitely give this demo a try. We went from light to dark and back to light with Chainstaff. This is the next game from Mommy's Best Games, and we're going back to the kind of 2D weirdness from the developer. We are on an alien planet when an alien parasite has, well, attached itself to our head. But we are not completely dead, and must use our newly acquired parasitic power to run, jump, grapple, and, well, javelin our way across the alien countryside. The game here is kind of like a mix between like Contra and Bionic Commando. The developer also wanted to throw in like Earthworm Jim, which you could probably see with some of like the strange creatures you're going to be fighting. The general mechanics here is that kind of like Contra, you can only take one hit at start, but you also have like shields, which act as your quote-unquote extra health. Your Chainstaff can be used to deflect bullets. You can kind of stick it into the ground and then manipulate it as a platform. You can of course grapple with it, and other strange things as the game goes on. I really like the art style, going for again just like sheer over-the-top WTF-ness of this kind of weird world. Now, from the demo, it's a little bit hard to tell just how hard the main game is going to be. You can upgrade your character to get new weapons and improve how many shield points you have, but I am curious again to see like where this one is going to go with all of its like off-the-wallness. So if you're a fan of 2D run and gun and looking for a very different take on it, then be sure to give this one a play. We now go to Ruffy and the Riverside. This is a 3D, kind of more puzzle platforming, rather than like a technical platformer. You play in this very adorable and beautiful looking world as Ruffy, who has the power to basically take the properties of one thing and apply them to something else. So you could take the properties of ice, put it on water, and completely freeze the water source. You can turn something that's unbreakable into easily breakable wood, and many other features as well. Your job is to explore the world, collect stars, open up new doors to get further and find more and more treasure, and see what other strange things are abound. As I said a minute ago, this is not going to be as technical platforming as what we usually play here. You'll be more kind of focused on going into the different areas and trying to get the various stars and other MacGuffins here and there. The jumping, I would say, is on the moderate to easy side. The camera did give me a little bit of trouble here and there, especially with some of the moving platforms. But all in all, this was a very enjoyable and very inventive 3D platformer. So if you like your platforming more on the puzzly side rather than the technical side, then definitely give this one a play. We now go to Scaravan 66. This is a kind of combat car roguelite, where you play a Reaper who's trying to outrun or outdrive the devil on Route 66, and they must use car, gun, and other implements in order to do so. In this one, each kind of level will involve you getting into a combat race with different enemies. You'll have to shoot them or ram them off the road in order to deal with them. After each battle, you'll decide which friendly Reaper pit stop you'll go to, which will unlock a new perk kind of like that with Hades. The perks have a huge variety of them, from some that grant you lifesteal, help where minions can show up, improve your guns and your different attacks, etc, etc. There is metagame progression in terms of unlocking permanent upgrades and new features, which was not available in this demo. I really love the look of this one, and kind of the driving-based combat give this one a unique feel. So another very easy recommendation, and I'm really looking forward to giving this one a further test drive when it is released. We now slow things down for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. In this one, it's a kind of a combination between like fights in tight spaces with a beat 'em up or action game, and a very unusual mixing. It is a different story for our turtles, as Splinter and Shredder are gone, and Cry has taken over, and we must explore the city and other places in order to save the day and figure out what is happening. Now, there are some very unusual takes for the genre here. So, to start with, you only play as one turtle at a time. Each one has different abilities that you see at the bottom of the screen. Each turn you have 6 actions, and the different abilities that each turtle has can influence how much they cost, how much attack they do, etc, etc. One of the best ways to knock out an enemy, of course, is just knock them off the board. As you defeat enemies, the level will kind of progress, and you must keep going or you'll fall off the board and lose one of your lives. Run out of lives and you must restart the level. Like with fights in tight spaces and some of the other ones, you have to kind of learn how to do the most with your move set, which means figuring out how to do multi-kills, stop enemies, and so on and so forth. Now, one issue that I have in the demo was I couldn't get the inspect feature to work right, and I was not able to see like what different buffs and debuffs were doing. I am really curious as to how hard the finished game is going to be, as It's one of those titles that once you kind of know how each turtle behaves or how their moves behave, it shouldn't become that difficult for you to deal with no matter how many enemies they throw at you. Very original game, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what this one has in store when it is released. And now we go to White Knuckle. This is a survival horror climbing simulator. You are trying to escape from a mysterious facility, and the only tools you have are your hands, the ability to kind of chisel in hooks, and anything you can do to keep yourself going and climbing up and up. The challenge here is that something is coming after you from down below, and you must keep ahead of it or you will die. As you progress, more and more obstacles will be thrown at you. And I really like the climbing physics in this one, as you have freedom to kind of grab to any ledge or edge that you see fit to be able to reach, but you must manage the grip strength of each individual hand if you want to get up and out of this place alive. My one complaint is that it seems like you only have one life, so if you mess up one jump anywhere, it is game over. And I did have some issues with some of the physics themselves, so just being able to mantle and climb up over things, and sometimes like accidentally launching myself backwards. If you're not afraid of heights and looking for a very challenging and very interesting take on the climbing genre, then you definitely want to give this one a play. We now go to Twisted Tower, and this is essentially a carnival-themed Bioshock. Your fiancé left you for another man, but it turns out that man is a deranged architect who has built a massive tower full of deranged circus folk, traps, and more. In order to get her back, you must explore and beat up a whole lot of strange things. The aesthetics and art style here are really nice. I like the kind of like carnival imagery and the fact that we're fighting kind of all manner of deranged like clowns and other strange things here. The gameplay at the moment does feel like Diet Bioshock. The gunplay and general melee are almost like one for one in terms of like feel. Like this is not going to be as like run and gun as some of the other shooters that we've played. My main concern from the demo is that I didn't get to see like too many like interesting powers or additional things beyond just the guns. You get like a harpoon that is simply there for kind of teleporting or grappling long distances, but nothing like the plasmids, no electroshock, that kind of thing. The game boasts being able to replay it with having like different paths, but I don't know if that's as big of a draw for a game like this. And it was a little bit awkward fighting some of the enemies. They like to like teleport out of nowhere with like no advance warning, so there are cases where they will just teleport like literally next to you and get a free hit. I am curious to see where this one is going to go, so if you're not Bioshocked out yet, I would at least give this demo a try and see if it works for you. We now go to Shotgun Cop Man. This is the latest game from the developer of My Friend Pedro, and we play as Shotgun Cop Man, who's been sent to hell to arrest Satan, and he's going to do just that with guns in hand. If you're familiar with My Friend Pedro, then this is another kind of movement, high-octane action shooter. Shotgun Cop Man doesn't jump. Instead, he uses his various guns in order to propel him up and around over things. Your shotgun can be used to deliver damage at close range and is kind of your main vertical and movement tech, while your pistol is used for longer range and can keep you suspended in the air while you deliver sweet Shotgun Cop Man justice to everyone. As with My Friend Pedro, your mission is going to take you through a variety of levels, dodging all matter of obstacles, and doing your best to do it as quickly and as efficiently as you can. The feel on this one is really well done, and you're going to get a kind of, badass cop feel as you shoot your way through hell. If there were any issues I had with this one, as with My Friend Pedro, I am wondering if there will be enough legs or guns to keep someone invested all the way from beginning to end. But if you're looking for another very solid action game, and you don't mind going to hell with a shotgun, definitely give this one a play. And for our last game of today's showcase, this is Empyreal. And what we have here is a kind of action RPG. You are exploring a variety of strange worlds and trying to uncover the mysteries of a monolith. And you're going to do that by hacking, slashing, jumping, and parrying your way to victory. The gameplay here is quite unusual. While the footage you're seeing here makes us look again like a Souls-like with, very careful combat, that kind of thing, this is more action-oriented. Every enemy gives you an exact tell when they're about to attack and what they're about to attack with, and you'll need to dodge or parry accordingly. There is a full gear system, allowing you to equip a variety of different weapons, armors, etc., etc. And the footage from the demo is showing kind of the endgame gear that was part of the demo itself, but I'm sure you're going to start with something far less fancy. I don't know if there will be multiplayer in the finished version or not, but there is something oddly satisfying about this one in terms of kind of the general combat and feel. If they can make the search for loot engaging, this could be one worth checking out, but I want to keep like a tentative eye on this one for when it is released. And with that, our first night of Next Fest is over, but we got plenty more to go. Let me know what some of your favorite demos are down below, as we'll be trying to check out as many as we can across the week. And with that, I'm going to rest my voice, take a nice little nap, and prepare for our next Fest night. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and if you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.